11.3% of the population in America has diabetes. 1.4 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year. The medical cost per year is $237 billion. Diabetes, it's everywhere. This is the Embrace Podcast. Diabetes is everywhere. It affects all age groups, all ethnicities, all walks of life. And on this show, we talk about diabetes awareness, current events and news, tips, advice, motivation. We'll speak with guest speakers. Welcome to the family. This is the Embrace Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Embrace Podcast, man. Another Wednesday, another episode. Today I have a fun one for you. I'm excited to talk about this. But first, we need to go through our beginning stuff. I had a great week this week. I went to Bisbee, Arizona with Hayden, and that was a lot of fun. Went for a couple of days, and I'd never been there before. It's about 3 hours from Phoenix. It's cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of mining history. It was the third most popular city back in its heyday, along with Los Angeles and Houston. Now it's kind of forgotten about, but there's a lot of cool art there, a lot of cool museums. Had a blast, man. So that's kind of what's been going on in my past week. Blood sugars were definitely fluctuating. My blood sugars have definitely been high. I need to change my basal rate probably after I record this episode, but they have definitely, I've been waking up really high, man. My blood sugars have been in the 300s every single time I wake up. So I'm going to go change my basal rate right after this episode. But first things first, let's test our blood sugar together. We're talking about basal rates. We're talking about, high blood sugars. Let's get this started the right way. If you are not behind a motor-powered vehicle or an electric-powered vehicle, bring out your meter, get your test strips, get your lancing device, and let's see what our blood sugar is together. Excuse me. Mine right now is, I'm feeling on the lower side right now, to be honest. 134. You see it. You hear it. And I promise you I did not test before this episode and double check that I was in the clear. I don't do that. I like to keep it authentic for you. 134, let's get it. I woke up again like 349, so that was a couple hours ago. So we're doing good. 134. Let me know what your blood sugar is in the comments. I have to, of course, shout out our monthly contributors. These people made the decision to go on www.theembracefoundation.org and send a monthly contribution or a weekly contribution, whether it be $5, $25, $100. These people are helping us continue to do what we do and continue to help and continue to fight for diabetic supplies accessibility. So we got Megan Motley, Suzanne Jones, Jake Coleman, Whitney Sweeney, Pamela Bailey, Laura Lopez, Brittany Lopez, shout out my family, Whitney Sweeney, again, Sherry L. Bearden, and Michael Rose. So thank you guys so much. You guys are doing a tremendous help and a tremendous service. And again, allowing Embrace to do what they do, to do what we do, and help these people out, help fellow diabetics get the supplies that they need for absolutely free. So thank you so much. I want to shout out them. Of course, I have to shout out our weekly supporter, our weekly, our sponsor, shall I say, our weekly supporter. This person got on and sent us a $15 donation on PayPal and said, and left a note. This is from Michael James. And he says, you guys are really making a difference. And I hope this means you can send out an extra package. Thank you so much, Michael James, for going out of your way, sending us a donation, and looking out for somebody. That will be able to definitely help someone extra get a box. We send out a few boxes a week, and that costs $15 per package. Our padded envelopes cost $8 to $10. So that will definitely help send out an extra person this week. So thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And thank you for the kind words, man. But let's get into the meat of the episode. This week, it's a fun one, but there's something beautiful behind all this nonsense. But I wanted to do a fun one. We often think we are alone in this fight, man. A lot of people don't speak up about their diabetes, so maybe we don't know that they have it. We feel like it's just sometimes we feel alone. Can you agree with that? Sometimes I feel alone. Sometimes I feel like, man, I don't meet anybody with diabetes. I might see an Omnipod in the wild, a Dexcom in the wild, but I know, especially when I was younger, I really felt like this illness was going to hold me back in life. It really felt like this illness was gonna refrain me from doing what I wanted to do, and joining sports or being successful in any sort of capacity. But today I'm going to tell you 10 plus people who have diabetes and made it, right? We're going to talk about my top 10 celebrities with diabetes. Who doesn't love a little gossip? Who doesn't love a little TMZ action, right? These people made it with their diabetes. So let's get into it. There are a lot of people with my extensive research. There are a lot of people who actually have diabetes who I had no idea had diabetes. All right. So let's start off with our number 10 spot. Number 10, we're going Selma Hayek, man. Selma Hayek, you know Selma Hayek. Where do I know her from? Grown Ups. My favorite, top 10 favorite movies for sure. Adam Sandler classic movie. I'm not going to get too into movies. I know. But this one is an interesting one. That's why she starts off at number 10, but she is in Grown Ups. I really don't know her outside of Grown Ups, to be honest. I'm sorry for any Selma Hayek fans out there. But she was my celebrity crush when I was a kid, okay? I'll say it. When I saw Grown Ups, man, okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me for that one. I might cut that out. But she is a Mexican-American actress and film producer. And although she does not live currently with diabetes, she did have gestational diabetes when she was pregnant with her child. So for any of you guys who do have gestational diabetes right now or have had it in the past, I wanted to shout this person out specifically because although this is that rare diabetes that comes and goes, they do have diabetes for a minute, and we actually receive a lot of supplies. We receive a lot of our diabetic supplies from people who have gestational diabetes, who need a meter, who need all these diabetic supplies for those couple of months. I don't know how long gestational diabetes lasts for, but I'm guessing a couple months. And they give it all to us when they're done using it. When their diabetes goes away, they give us all the supplies that they don't need anymore. So I really wanted to put a spotlight on her because I wanted to also shout out our gestational diabetics out there. So number 10, Selma Hayek. Number 9 is a really cool one, man. Number 9 is the GOAT. You know him. You love him. The person who called out DJ Khaled in live TV, man. Larry King. Larry King is an American author, radio, and television host whose awards included 2 Peabodys, an Emmy, and 10 cable ACE awards. During his career, King conducted over 60,000 interviews on radio and TV. Pretty cool. All while living with type 2 diabetes, man. Insane. He's 85 years old. And let's get into this. This is interesting. For years, the legendary talk show host thought his most pressing health issue was heart disease, but it was actually type 2 diabetes, man. I'm going to get a little bit more into this. Give me a second. Yeah, he lived with type 2 diabetes, man. And who doesn't know Larry King? Larry King is a GOAT, man. He was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 1995. So that's pretty crazy. That's the year I was born. That guy's been around for a long time. So number 9, Larry King. Our number 8 spot is going to go to a Miss Vanessa Williams. Now, Vanessa Lynn Williams is an American actress, singer, producer, and dancer. She gained recognition as the first African-American woman to receive the Miss America title when she was crowned Miss America. Isn't that crazy? She is an actress, singer, producer, dancer, and the first African-American woman to receive the Miss America title. That's insane. All while living with type 1 diabetes, man. That's a sign right there, man. For anyone who wants to dance, be a singer, producer, actress, who wants to do Miss America, man, don't say that diabetes is going to stop you. Diabetes does not have to hold you back. Talk to Vanessa Williams about that, man. A celebrity singer with type 1 diabetes, and according to her, she lost her grandmother to the disease. And Diabetes isn't a disease. I'm not too fragile, not too sensitive with how people approach and talk about diabetes or the name or the nomenclature, if you will. A lot of people get weirded out when someone says type 1 diabetic or type 2 diabetic. There's a weird stigma to it, but as someone who's living with it for 20 years, it doesn't matter to me if you call me a diabetic or person living with diabetes. Person living with diabetes is a lot more of a mouthful, but I don't care, man. And I feel like I have the right to say it because I live with it. But I don't like disease. I don't know why. I just don't like that word disease. I don't think that type 1 diabetes is a disease. It's technically a chronic illness. But yeah, my grandmother was lost to it. And I didn't mean to throw that in the episode. I just read it and I was a little surprised myself. But keep in mind, peace and love, Vanessa Williams, a little bit on the older side. And her grandma, a little older too, so technology was different. Maybe she didn't take care of it. I don't want to speak on ill towards the non-living, but you just never know. I know people who's been living with type 1 diabetes for years and 70, 80, so that. So number 8, Vanessa Williams. And I'm sorry, I don't know what she's famous for. Let me see. Let me type that in real quick. Vanessa Williams, man. I was about to mess this up and say that she was a tennis player. She's not. That's Serena Williams. Let's see what she's in. Oh, she looks famous, man. She looks like familiar. She's 60 years old. Why am I age shaming? Okay, what's she in? My mom likes Vanessa Williams. That's what I know. Okay, she was in Ugly Betty, Dance with Me, Desperate Housewives. That's where I know her from. Desperate Housewives. Did I just reveal that I watched Desperate Housewives? Maybe. She was in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Candyman. She was in the Elmo movie, and she was in Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson. So she got a little work under her belt, and she was Miss America. So number 8, I feel like maybe she should go higher, but Vanessa Williams. Number 7, we're gonna get to some good ones. I'm gonna throw him in here. Y'all love him. I know a lot of you, a lot of the older generation knows him from a specific band, but Mr. Bret Michaels. Now I'm gonna get a little. He had a TV show. That's what I know him from. He had an MTV show called like Rock with Love or something, where he just hangs out with a bunch of women. Man, he was living life. And MTV in America and the world was a lot different back then, where you just have a show about one dude chilling with like 20 women, and the women would change all the time. And I'm not going to tell you how many times I walked downstairs in the middle of the night, grab a snack because I was low, and I see my dad watching it. I don't know. I'm going to try to close that memory from my head because I don't know. I don't try to look at my dad as a different man because of it. Let's move on. But more importantly, he was an American singer and musician, which a lot of you guys know him from the band Poison. What's that song I love from Poison? That's gonna mess with me. What's the song called? I would do a performance with you right now if I remember what it was. But he was a frontman of a rock band Poison, who has sold over 50 million albums worldwide and 15 million records in the United States. Type 1 diabetes, he said, I'm dropping albums, bro. I'm becoming the top of the top. Give me a TV show. Give me 50 million albums sold. Type 1 diabetes, psh, that ain't stopping me. So if you are living with type 1 diabetes and you want to be a musician of any sorts, talk to Bret Michaels, because he did not let that slow him down. And everybody has heard of Poison, right? At some point or another. And I need to see what that song is called. The song, what is it called? Nothing. They released Nothing But a Good Time. Oh, every rose has its thorn. I play that song every time my sister comes to visit, and I really want to bring out the emotional and make her cry before I drop her off. A little bit evil. But that's how I know that song. That song is a great song. That's an emotional song. And somebody with type 1 diabetes wrote it. Wrote a hit. Wrote a classic. So what's stopping you? I'm saying, we got to embrace this stuff, man. Bret Michaels, the lead singer for the band Poison, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 6 years old. So right before, maybe you've been thinking, okay, maybe he wrote all those songs and he got type 1 diabetes a little later. No, he had it when he was 6. And he still became a world-renowned, world-known, famous rock star. If you think rock star, this guy's a freaking rock star, man. When I think rock star, I think of Bret Michaels with the little cowboy hat and the mustache. Rock of Love, which I try to cut out of my memory, but yeah, man. Number 6, was that number? Yeah, number 6, Bret Michaels. Yeah, man, I know a lot of you guys love Bret Michaels. So, like I said, type 1 diabetes. You want to be a musician? Diabetes does not have to stop you, according to Bret Michaels. Now we're going to we're going to our top 5 now. Top five going to get a little crazy. We have some really good ones, but I want to give my top five to a Mr. Jay Cutler. Now, for a lot of my sports people, you know exactly who I'm talking about, man. Jay Cutler is an American former football quarterback who played in the National Football League for 12 seasons. So I know a lot of us think that diabetes has to stop us from sports, from doing these specific activities that take a lot of endurance and things like that. But man, he was in the NFL for 12 seasons, man. That's 12 years, right? I don't watch football, I don't watch sports, but I'm pretty sure that's 12 years. And he was a member of the Chicago Bears for most of his career. He is the franchise leader in passing yards, passing touchdowns, attempts, and completions, man. So not only was he living with type 1 diabetes in the NFL, but he was breaking records, man. He is the franchise leader in all these things, the franchise leader in passing yards, passing touchdowns, attempts, and completions. So he didn't just skate by the NFL. He wasn't on the benches, man. He was leading the charge, man. That's pretty cool. So, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 2008 while playing football. Let me read this one. He is one of the main people on this list who actually advocate for type 1 diabetes. He was at the like 2-3 years ago. He was at the JDRF One Walk, so he's still very vivid, very in the trenches with us type 1, type 2, and other diabetics, man. So that's pretty cool. I think it's really cool that when people already have their fame, they already are have made something of themselves, and they have no need to want to connect with the community, I believe. And look at this guy, man. He's at the events. He's a top advocator for type 1 diabetes, man, and that's pretty cool. It says Cutler hasn't let diabetes sideline him. He now wears an insulin pump, tracks his blood sugar, and has called his condition manageable. I'll take condition. I'll take condition over disease. But that's pretty cool, man. So number 5, I'm going to give it to Jay Cutler. So we have singers, we have producers, we have dancers, we have football players, we have talk show hosts, all on this list, and we haven't even cracked the top 4 yet. So that's pretty cool. So again, for all you guys who want to do sports, who are hesitant of doing sports because you were diagnosed with diabetes, you don't have to let that stop you. You can still become, can still go in the league. You can still become an NFL player. You can still play sports, and not only play sports, become successful at them. So that's pretty cool. Number 3. Wait, no. Number 4. I'm gonna give this to. I'm gonna give it to. Man, this is tough. I don't know, man. Number 4. I have my top 3 locked in. Okay, you know what? Number 4. Number 4. I'm gonna give it to my boy. Y'all know I should have switched out. I changed this action figure out every episode, but I should have thought of this differently. I don't have any Star Wars action figures next to me, but I'm gonna give it to Mr. George Lucas, man. George Lucas was a type 2 diabetic. You know, do I have to go into who George Lucas is? Last night I watched the season finale of Ahsoka, a Star Wars show created by a man who has diabetes, who lives with diabetes, man. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be watching anything last night. He created the greatest franchise of all time. Am I crazy to say that? Who did not grow up watching Star Wars? Get off this episode right now if you didn't. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We won't talk too much about the later episodes, but we'll definitely say 1 through 6 was crazy, and he created the best of the 3 of all of the trilogies, 4, 5, and 6. Man, created Darth Vader, created Luke Skywalker, created freaking Star Wars, and I'm gonna cut myself off right here because I know if I get a little too much into it, we're gonna be talking. I'm gonna be here for another 30 minutes talking about how much I love Star Wars, but George Lucas lives with type 1 diabetes, created not only Lucasfilm, LucasArts, THX. He was a founding member of THX. Y'all know THX. In the beginning, you watch your DVD, it says the THX. And, you know, he created Indiana Jones, American Graffiti, man. He is the mind behind a lot of our childhoods and a lot of the wonderful movie magic that we grew up watching, and I'm sure inspired. What didn't Star Wars inspire? So, top number 4, I'm giving that to George Lucas. I want to shout out before we crack our top three. I want to do a little bit of some honorable mentions. We're gonna go with Randy Jackson, honorable mention. Lives with type 2 diabetes. Um, Host of American Idol. Come on now, not host, judge of American Idol. Grew up watching Randy Jackson. Love that dude. We got Pat. I'm gonna throw in Patti LaBelle, R&B singer. She's known as the godmother of soul. Type 2 diabetic, right there. And Anthony Anderson. He is known for he's in the show, I believe, called Blackish, but I know him from lives with type 2 diabetes, and he's a huge advocate for, I believe it's Novolog. So he's still with us in the diabetes fight. I know him from the Transformers movies. He was great in Transformers 1. Loved him in that one. That's what I know him from. And there was even a donut scene. He didn't mention diabetes, but that's he's hilarious. So we're gonna go into our top. Oh, and let me throw in. I know I should have put him in the list. We love him, but I removed him from the top three because I have a very personal one that I really want to tell you about for our number for our top three spot. So last honorable mention, we're gonna give it to Tom Hanks. I know. I should have put him in the top 10, but lives with type 2 diabetes. Come on, do I have to explain who Tom Hanks is? The voice of Woody. He's in Big. He's in Forrest Gump. He's still killing it today. He's in so much movies, man. He is probably one of the top actors of all time. Lives with type 2 diabetes. This was interesting. Tom Hanks in 2013, the then 57-year-old Academy Award winner revealed that he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes after struggling with high blood sugars for a long time. He revealed that on the David Letterman show. So that's pretty cool. I love Tom Hanks. Like I said, he's in so many movies that I love and adore. Some classics. I'm a lot of them. He's in The Terminal. I know I'm gonna hate myself after this episode because I'm drawing a blank on some of it. So many of his classics. But come on, Forrest Gump, Big, Woody. I just have to drop Woody, and then I think we're good on that one. So let's get into our top three. Our number 3 spot. I'm gonna give it to. I like this a lot because I like it and I don't like it, but I'm going to explain that in a second. But number 3, we're giving that to Miss Halle Berry. You heard that right. Halle Berry is a type 1 diabetic. Wait, hold on. Scratch that. She's not. She is. Wait. I need to research this a second. Oh, no. She does have type 1 diabetes. I guess there's a mishap. We'll get into that. But Halle Berry is an American actress who began her career as a model and entered several beauty contests, finishing as the first runner-up in the Miss USA pageant and coming in 6th in the Miss World 1986. So she's been along for a long time, and man, she's in so many great movies. We hear about Halle Berry all the time. She's in Catwoman. I know, random movie that I just brought up, but she's in the movie Catwoman. She's in the TV show called Living Dolls. She's an Academy Award winner. I need to get into this. So there's in 1989, after feeling fatigued, she passed out while working on the TV show Living Dolls because of her diabetes. So she had hold on one second. So number 3 is going to Halle Berry. I had to take a break for a second. I had to pause that because there's a lot of stuff going on with her diagnosis, and it changed from type 1 to type 2. So I had to dive a little deeper into that and see what really is going on. I also had to grab myself a Diet Coke. But this is crazy, man. So I wanted to read this to you guys. But there's a lot going on with Halle Berry and her diagnosis. I'm going to read this for you from ABC News. This was in 2007. This was published, and it says, "This has been quite a year for Halle Berry. Not only did the 41-year-old actress achieve a long-desired pregnancy, but she stirred up a storm of controversy when she claimed that she had cured herself of type 1 diabetes." The audacity. But let's dive deeper into this. A claim refuted by many doctors in the diabetes community. Berry is the latest example of the many stars who have waged a battle with diabetes. I like that, waged a battle. That sounds kind of epic. Halle Berry struggled with managing her type 1 diabetes throughout her childhood and then reported a surprise. I've managed to wean myself off insulin. So now I'd like to put myself in the type 2 category. The website contactmusic.com quotes diabetes quickly admonished Berry for her comments. Diabetics quickly admonished Berry for her comments, and doctors confirmed it is not possible to cure anyone of diabetes. So that's insane. I know she didn't know any better. Times were different. It's what, like 10-ish years ago? Geez, almost 20 years ago that she said this. But the fact that she went on record to say she cured herself of diabetes by weaning herself off insulin. First off, that's really dangerous for someone who doesn't know better. This isn't a slam piece. I'm just learning about this. She's still number 3. Don't worry about it. But that's crazy. It is not. Doctors confirmed it is not possible to cure anyone of diabetes. If Berry was truly a type 1 diabetic, it would be a death sentence to stop taking insulin. She claims that a healthy diet and exercise has changed the course of her illness. So the audacity continues. And she quotes, there's a quote that says, when someone really has type 1, it means their immune system has destroyed the insulin-producing part of the pancreas. In that case, there is no way to wean yourself off insulin. Dr. Francine Kaufman, a diabetes expert at Children's Hospital LA, told ABC News. It says some 20.8 million people, 7% of the population, have diabetes. According to, hold on. Type 2 tends to affect the unfit and obese. 90% of all type 2 patients are overweight. Berry, however, has a healthy 22-year-old working was a healthy 22-year-old working on the TV show Living Dolls in 1989 when she was first diagnosed, she told the Daily Mail in 2005. Before she was diagnosed and after becoming ill on set, she told the paper she slipped into a diabetic coma for a week. Berry is currently pregnant with her first child. This was a long time ago. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay, no. That's it. That's crazy, man. So we're gonna get more into this, but she had was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and said that she beat it. She was able to wean off insulin and was able to cure herself from it, which we all know that isn't possible. But let's get more into it. This one says, in 1989, after feeling fatigued, Academy Award-winning American actress Halle Berry passed out while working on the TV show Living Dolls. She spent 7 days in a coma until her blood sugar levels could be normalized. Jeez, 7 days in a coma. That's insane. To be honest, I didn't know that a really high blood sugar can lead to a 7-day coma. That is insane. That was when she received a diabetes diagnosis. As soon as she returned from the hospital, Berry began a treatment plan as part of her management plan. She changed her diet to one that includes fresh vegetables, chicken, fish, and pasta, and omits red meat. She also hired a personal trainer and practices yoga to stay active. Diabetes turned out to be a gift, she told the Daily Mail in 2005. It gave me strength and toughness because I had to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable or painful it was. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. What a different article, man. What a completely different side of the coin there. That's cool. I want to highlight a few things. So one, she really changed her diet after her diagnosis and hired a personal trainer and practices yoga to stay active. So that's cool. Staying active, being active, and focusing on your diet can have amazing effects and results in your diabetes, regardless, type 1, 2, whatever. That can really, really, really dial down and get your blood sugars in range. So that's really cool. If you go about it correctly. If you are active, your blood sugar can go low, but being active and eating healthy can do wonders for your diabetes. And then she says, I like this quote a lot. She says, diabetes turned out to be a gift. It gave me strength and toughness because I had to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable or painful it was. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Let's read this last one. I want to find out more about the. I really want to learn more about this. Her like crazy diagnosed with type 1 and then going to type 2 and then saying she was cured. I think this is going to tell us everything we need to know. This one says, this is from usmed.com. So this is a reliable source right here. It says, Berry is one of the celebrities with diabetes. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 19 years old. So she was diagnosed type 1 diabetic. So that isn't her fault that she stopped taking insulin and it worked. So maybe she was misdiagnosed. It says being optimistic about her diagnosis and her life afterwards. She said in an interview, again, diabetes turned out to be a gift. It gave me strength and toughness because I had to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable or painful it was. Here it goes. However, in 2007, she came out to say she no longer had type 1 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes. This got her some backlash from health professionals who said type 1 diabetes was incurable. In 2018, she mentioned that strict adherence to a keto lifestyle helped her in managing her diabetes. So if I could put my spin on this, I believe that she was just misdiagnosed. She had type 2 diabetes, and they told her she was type 1. She stopped taking insulin. She improved her diet, and she stopped taking insulin, and she was fine. So that totally wasn't her fault. She was just misinformed, misdiagnosed, which again is scary. And in 2005, the stigma around type 2 diabetes was still you have to be overweight. You have to have a really poor diet to have type 2 diabetes, when that now isn't super the case. It can cause type 2 diabetes, bad health, overweightness, all that stuff, but it's not always 100% of the case. And back then, I think it was more black and white, to where it was you have to be overweight, you have to have a poor diet to get type 2 diabetes. So that's why I think maybe they were so prominent on giving her that type 1 diabetes diagnosis. So I think she was misdiagnosed, and it wasn't really her fault. All this backlash and controversy, it wasn't her fault. Misdiagnosed. She tried something. She said, I'm going to stop taking this. I did that too when I was 7. When I was diagnosed, I said, I'm going to ignore diabetes. I'm going to stop taking insulin and see what happens. Obviously not good results, but Halle Berry tried it and it worked. But that's because she was misdiagnosed. She was type 2 when they thought she was type 1. Obviously that goes without a doubt. Don't try it. Do not try not taking insulin and see if it just goes away. Don't try just going on a keto diet and not taking insulin if you're a type 1 diabetic. Obviously, times were different. Again, this was almost 20 years ago. So, the stigmas and the knowledge around diabetes and type 1 and type 2, wildly different. But number 3 spot goes to Halle Berry for sure. Wow, man. I did not know any of this. Well, I'm happy that we're learning it together. I'm going to give my number 2 spot. And you guys are going to be maybe a little upset at this spot, because I know that you're thinking he should be number 1 because you hear about it. This is the number 1 guy you hear all the time talking about diabetes in the community. And we all know and love him. We grew up with him, watching him on Disney Channel. But I'm going to give my number spot is saved for someone else. I'm going to give my number 1 spot is not me, I promise. I'm just kidding. I'm not a celebrity. But my number 2 spot, I'm burning up for you, baby. Nick Jonas. My number 2 spot is going to Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas was part of the band, the Jonas Brothers. If you are in the 20s, 20-something to 20-something, early 30s maybe, and you grew up watching Nick Jonas and hearing this music that they created with his brother. He is an American singer, songwriter, and actor. And even later days, he made some amazing, beautiful hits. What was it? Jealous? Wait, how's it go? It's not your fault to be living now. No disrespect. It's my right to be jealous. I still get jealous. That's a good one. Excuse me for that one. But he began acting in Broadway at the age of 7 and released his debut single in 2002. This caught the attention of Columbia Records, where Jonas formed a band with his older brothers, Kevin and Joe. Dang, so he was the reason that the band was created. He started off his solo career and said, hey, let's make a band. Let's make this bread together, he said. So if it wasn't for Nick Jonas, man, there wouldn't be no Jonas Brothers. And he didn't have type 1 diabetes off the gate. He didn't have it when he started singing, but he was diagnosed when he was 13 years old. I know we saw that spot on Disney Channel when they made it seem like he had a fatal disease, but it was just diabetes. It says the lead singer and guitarist for the Jonas Brothers was 13 years old when he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. His blood sugar was over 700 at time of diagnosis, man. That's crazy. And I gave him his number 2. I gave him the number 2 spot because, one, I will say he's been a pretty big advocate for diabetes, type 1 diabetes. He's like the face. He's like the celebrity diabetic. You know what I'm saying? If you know Nick Jonas, you know that he has type 1 diabetes. And that's cool for the people who don't have diabetes, who can now can learn about it. He's in the Dexcom commercials. So he gets the number 2 spot because we love him. 2, he's an advocate. And 3, he is inspiring. I've seen a lot of like documentaries and videos and things like that of him talking about his diabetes and how he tries to manage it and him rocking his Dexcom. So I'm gonna give him the number 2 spot, Nick Jonas. And yeah, man, Nick Jonas, singer, songwriter, actor, beautiful. Diagnosed at 13. Now for my number 1 spot, this person deserves the number 1 spot, not only because diabetes really tried to get in the way of her success and at a really crucial moment in her life, but not only because of that, but what she turned that into, man. This person is truly an inspiration and someone who truly, to the very core of it, embraces her diabetes. And she learned a really valuable life lesson in the midst of all of this stuff. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to stop talking in quotes, but my number 1 spot goes to Crystal Bowersox, and for a lot of reasons. She was in the 9th season of American Idol, the runner-up of the 9th season of the American Idol, and she was the first female finalist in 3 years. So that in itself is amazing. She was diagnosed when she was only 6 years old, and again, runner-up. So it was just her and one other person, and she got all the way up. You all see in American Idol, you see how tough it is to even get that yellow slip of paper in the beginning. She made it all the way to the end while living with diabetes, but that journey wasn't easy. And I'm trying my best. I don't want to mess up her story at all. I'd love to have her on the show, on the podcast, so that she can explain it herself. But in the midst of that competition, she went into DKA. That's insane. She literally went into DKA with all the stress of practicing and training and trying to be the best and trying to win. And through all that craziness, it had an effect on her diabetes. She went into DKA, and she almost had to leave the show. She almost had to bow out because of how serious and how crucial that DKA got. I had a conversation with her on a TikTok live. This is so cool. She she loves Embrace. She's been on our TikTok lives a few times, just commenting, just being a regular, one of us. And one time she was commenting, saying, "Hey, I love what you do," and just asking questions. I was on live answering and asking questions, and out of nowhere, someone's like, "Are you the real Crystal Bowersox?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then another person says, "Are you actually Crystal Bowersox?" And I had no idea who she was. She was in the 2010 season of American Idol. I was in like 8th grade. I wasn't watching American Idol, so I didn't know who she was. But I invited her to go live with me, and she did, and we had a whole conversation. She explained everything to me and how that moment transformed her whole life. Taught her a lot, but after that, like she was in the height of her that competition. She went into DKA, and she explained how she really, really, really fought to stay. A lot of the people were like, "Hey, you're gonna have to bow out. Like, you're gonna have to leave, unfortunately." And she fought and she fought and she fought. And what she explained to me was there was a guys' week and a girls' week, and the girls' week was supposed to go first. The girls were going to perform, and the next week the guys were going to perform. But she fought to switch that around to give her an extra 7 days to get back to health. And it worked. She was able to finish up the competition. She was able to perform. She was able to get past that. And she explained to me now that she is just now, like, looking into her stuff. She performs at JDRF events. She is a known advocate for diabetes. I want to show you just this right now, just a list of stuff that she has been doing for the diabetes community. Since that competition, she has been like a known advocate. She's been on Pro Medica talking about diabetes. She's been on the news talking about diabetes. She's on a freaking One Touch commercial singing BB King. She is just, you just type her name in on YouTube, all you see are awareness videos of how she's spreading the word and how she's advocating for it. She's at an SDB conversation at JDRF talking about diabetes, man, promoting the summer camp. Like, she's everywhere. And she told me, I totally forgot. I'm terribly sorry. But she's on the board of, I think she was on the board of JDRF, or she was. She told me she left, but she was on the board. She's performing at the Walgreens Diabetes Walk in 2012, man. So she gets the number one spot, not only because of what she has completed and has done as a diabetic since she was 6, going on American Idol, still performing, still making great music. She's still going on tour making music today, till this day. She is a known advocate, doing interviews, raising awareness about diabetes, performing at diabetes events, doing the JDRF One Walk, um, and how that terrible turn of events turned into her, like I said, advocating and fighting for the diabetes community. She explained to me when we had that conversation on TikTok Live that she's happy that it happened because it kind of sparked this want to advocate and embrace it. But she explained that before that happened, she was kind of hiding it. She didn't want anyone to know. And that happened. And it kind of forced her to embrace it. It forced her to embrace it and to be an advocate and to no longer hide it. So for all those reasons, she deserves the number one spot. She's a beautiful story. She's an amazing singer. I'm going to actually include a live performance at the end of the episode so you can listen for yourself. And this is not a promo, but she's on tour right now. I want to take a lot of you guys. We're talking about it on TikTok Live a few nights ago about how I want to get a group of us and go see her show in Arizona when she comes out. So, like I said, man, definitely embracing it, not letting it slow her down. And a truly incredible story. Going into American Idol, going through all those loops, having DKA at the height of it, and fighting to stay on the show, and then getting runner up, and then that turning into her being an advocate, being on the board of JDRF, and performing at these walks and participating in these walks, raising awareness, doing interviews about diabetes and how to embrace it, and giving advice. So all that stuff, man, I think it's so cool. It's so beautiful. It's not like, hey, I sing and I also have diabetes. No, she is an amazing singer, and she's an advocate for diabetes, man. So crazy. All that to say, guys, we just listed off 10 people, man, extremely successful people who have done things in their lane. Great singers, performers, dancers, talk show hosts, football players. All these people are living with diabetes and not letting it stop them, man. Like I said, this Jay Cutler guy, he was the top guy on his team. She made runner up next to all these people who didn't have diabetes. Halle friggin' Berry, man, an actor. We're not going to talk too much about what her controversy is, but, Bret Michaels, lead singer of Poison, created classics, created hits, was on a TV show. So don't for a second think that your diabetes has to slow you down, will stop you from doing what you want to do. Don't think that it's in any way has to hinder you from completing and being the person that you were meant to be. Embrace it, live with it, love with it, rock with it, and advocate for it. Diabetes doesn't have to stop you. Take care of it, manage it, and you can become anything that you want to become. Don't ever let diabetes be an excuse as to why you can't be or accomplish anything in this life. You guys got this, man. I just listed off 10 examples of people like that. So, I believe in you. Without getting too corny, I believe in you. I know you can do whatever you set your mind to, whether you want to be an artist, a singer, a dancer, performer, a sports player. Even if it just means trying out a sport in school that you might think, diabetes might get in the way. Do it, try it, and don't let diabetes get in the way. Don't let diabetes be an excuse as to why you can't achieve something in this life, man. Thank you for listening. Let's get on to our outro. Super quick, I want to show you guys my movies of the week. I thought it was fitting to show you guys all of my physical copies of some of the Tom Hanks movies that I have since he was on our list. Let's do it. First, I got The Terminal. Great movie. Slept on movie for sure. Next, this is my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time. I'll probably add a clip of this one at the end. I wish I'd leave in little movie clips at the end, but it'll probably be of this one. The Green Mile. I just got this at a Goodwill a few days ago, $2, but my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time. Then I got Captain Phillips, another sleeper. Came out in like 2013, 2014. Another solid Tom Hanks movie. And then, of course, the 5 Academy Award winning movie, including Best Director, 1998, Steven Spielberg. This is my special limited edition of Saving Private Ryan, another need to watch Tom Hanks movie. Pretty gruesome though, so I wouldn't watch it if you are light on the stomach, shall we say. But I'll leave a clip of Green Mile at the end if you are watching this on YouTube. But thank you guys so much for listening. I want to thank again Megan Motley, Suzanne Jones, Jake Kalman, Whitney Sweeney, Pamela Bailey, Laura Lopez, Brittany Lopez, Sherry L. Bearden, and Michael Rose again for being our monthly contributors. And again, one more huge thank you to a Mr. Michael James for the kind note in the $15 donation. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know what your blood sugar is in the comments. Let me know what your list looks like. Let me know if I missed any people, celebrities, or public figures with diabetes. And let me know what you want to hear about next. Thank you again so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you back here next Wednesday. And until then, embrace diabetes, endure diabetes, and overcome it if we can. I just came up with that on the spot. Let me know if I should run with it. Have a great week. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much for watching these things and listening to them. Wherever you are in life, in the car, at home, doing chores, at your job, whatever. I appreciate you listening to me babble on for like 45 minutes to an hour. Have a great week. I will see you next time. Wait till after the outro if you want to hear that live performance from Crystal Bowersox and the clip from The Green Mile.
Thanks for listening to another great episode of the Embrace Podcast. You can follow Embrace on Instagram at Embrace3Movement or on TikTok at Embrace3. If you or someone you know has diabetes and needs supplies, you can visit their website at theembracefoundation.org and fill out a supplies request form. We'll see you back here every other Wednesday for a fresh new episode of the show. Until then, embrace, endure, and overcome diabetes. You are not alone.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, and I was feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed the diesel down just before the rain rode us all the way to New Orleans. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, don't mean nothing, honey, if it ain't free. Yeah, when it's feeling good was easy love, but Bobby sang them blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby.
Dude, that performance is so freaking good. I must have seen it a million times by now. We watched that live together when I was discovering who she was and we're having that conversation. And I always go back to it and listen to her music. Love it. But yeah, go check out her music, Crystal Bowersox. Now for that clip of The Green Mile. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, man, you get to see this stuff visually. I don't know. But let's go on to the movie clip of the week.
I want it to be over and done with. I do. I'm tired, boss. tired of being on the road, lonely as a sparrow in the rain. I'm tired of never having me a buddy to be with, to tell me where we's going to, coming from, or why. Mostly I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. I'm tired of all the pain I feel and hear in the world every day. There's too much of it. It's like pieces of glass in my head all the time. Can you understand?
Yes, John, you think I can?